From every strand on the line of your reel, to the rods, to the anglers, to the lures on the end of your hook, let's talk about those big bass here on Co-Angler's Corner with your hosts, Rob Welch and John Stoudinger.
Hey everybody, how y'all are? Cajun Rob here. Mr. John is a little under the weather, so I want to get through this with my guest. I got a real experienced guest. She's been on before, and we're fortunate to have her on again and share her experiences on the being a part of the USA Bass team. And I'll go ahead and introduce her. And that was Miss Rhonda Pitts. Hey, Rhonda, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Rob, I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Oh, absolutely. It's an honor for us. I mean, for the folks that don't know, we'll kind of go through how'd you qualify and get to the USA Bass team, and you fished in Canada. That is a really cool experience. So if you want to start out, just kind of go through when you was at ICAST and how you got the chance to go and fish Canada with the USA Bass team.
Sure. So every year at ICAST, there's a tournament, the ICAST Cup. And within the tournament, there is a women's division. So my partner, Emily Freeman, and I, that was our second year to fish, was last year. And signed up, went out. It's a 3-fish limit. It's a 4-hour tournament. So it's a hurry up and get them as quick as you can and get back to weigh in. So she and I went out and caught our 3 fish and happened to win. And so that qualified us to go to Canada this year for the Pan Am. So you win ICAST one year, the next year you go to the Pan American tournament. Next year, Pan American tournament will be in Mexico.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
So yeah, it was, it's tough competition. Story behind it, Denise Sestasia or Sestada, I can never say.
Yep.
So Denise Sestada and her partner actually had 2 ounces on Emily and I, but they got back to weigh in late.
Oh.
So that's Emily and I won, and Denise came in second, and so yeah. But yeah, it's a great experience. Any ladies out there that are tournament anglers anywhere, it's a $200 entry fee. And as soon as the ICAST website and everything comes up for 2025, there should be a way for you to go on there and just make sure you sign up for the women's division within the ICAST Cup.
Yep. And then you even better, you get to go walk through ICAST and check out ICAST. That's even better.
Yeah. So then, you have the expo that starts the next day. So tournament is on Tuesday. ICAST starts on Wednesday. And then, from there, it's a free-for-all. So just take your walking shoes and be prepared and have you some business cards or something to hand out or something so that when you're talking to industry reps or even the pros, all the MLF and bass guys will be there. So you get to take pictures with them and talk with them, and they're all super nice. And I was telling Rob earlier, even the Jimmy Houston, Bill Dance, Hank Parker, Roland Martin, those guys are all there, and you can take pictures and talk. And got to have a conversation with KVD last year.
Wow.
And, so the funny thing is he was announcing his retirement and all of that. And I walked up to him. We were talking. I said, "Well, Kevin, I don't know what you have planned, but I know you've got something." I said, "I wish you'd do a TV show." And he looked at me and he laughed. And he said, "Well, we'll see what's going to happen." And I said, "Okay." And then, later in the year it came out, and he's got the KVD experience, or the Van Dam Experience, I think is the name of his show, that's coming out next year. So
absolutely. And I think he'll do a lot of TV with his partner Zona. Mark Zona, he just retired. And actually, I saw him over the weekend. So I think them two is going to do a lot of filming together. I just got a feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. They're good friends anyway. And, Zona has KVD on the show a lot. And so I'm sure they'll be partnering up and doing some buddy stuff. And I'm sure they'll be down at the Whoville doing some deer hunting and even on their waters down there on the ranch. So
absolutely. And we've got a couple of quick comments come in. First, we got the LBAA, Lady Bass Angler Association, say, "Hello, Rhonda Pitts."
Hey there, guys. How are y'all?
And then we got Miss Tricia McGraw of Fisher. She says, "Hey, Miss Rhonda."
Hey, Miss Trisha. Love my car.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Fisher guys, if you ain't checked it out, y'all. I mean, they just come up with so many designs and new products. They got a new kind of a backpack, tackle backpack. It's really good. They got weigh-in bags. So check them out at Fisher.com. They're great story. I think they've only been in business a little over a year, and they're just knocking it out. So congrats, ladies. But after one more, we got Miss Paula Duke Wilson saying hi, y'all.
Hey, Paula.
How's it going? How's it going? And then there's a girl from Fisher. Fisher saying thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yep. But looking forward to Fisher. They're gonna be down in toward my area in Knoxville at the East Tennessee Fishing Expo. I think into January. So looking forward to seeing the ladies, see what they got to offer, and I'm sure they'll have plenty for the women at the show, which is great. They found a niche for sure.
Yeah, Trisha has a really nice trailer where she gets to carry all of her stuff out. Hey, Carly Joe.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a really nice setup that she's got. So I'm really proud for her. So it makes it much easier, I'm sure.
Yeah, they put a lot of work into it. Hats off to them. Yeah, Miss Carly Joe, she says, "Hey guys, Rhonda, it was nice to meet you at the LBA Classic."
You too, lady. You just keep it up. You're going to be a hammer one of these days. You are already a hammer, but you're going to be in contention.
Oh, absolutely. Rookie of the year on the co-angler side. She's got a bright future, and she's a sharp little young lady for sure. But we're going for ICAST. Once you won the ICAST, did it kind of hit you that day, or did it take you a couple of days to say, "Wow, I'm going to be on the USA Bass team"? Did it take you all kind of to sink in?
No, it was an instant high.
Oh, I bet.
And it was a really long year. So, because you have to wait, all the way to the following September to get to fish on the team.
Yep.
Which, was not necessarily a bad thing, because I spent the entire year buying tackle and gear, and, I had way more stuff than I needed, but if I needed it, I had it.
Yep.
And so, we packed the Tundra to the gills and took it up there, and, like I said, if I needed it, I had it. And then when I stopped Sunday in Akwesasne and fished with my sponsor, Gajo, Will loaded me down with all kinds of plastics. And, I can't thank him enough for that. The Gajo Wacky Worm it's what I caught all my fish on in the class, in the Pan Am.
Oh, well. Yeah, he's real well known about his drop shot baits, his plastics. He does a really good job. He's got some good stuff.
Yes, he really does.
But we got Carly Joe saying thank you. Thank you, Carly. And then we got another Fisher. Exciting news, Rhonda. I'm working with Travis on LBAA weigh-in bag design. So proud of everything you've accomplished this year.
Thank you so much. I've seen the designs, Trisha, and they look really, really good. So yeah, I hope all of the weigh-in bags for LBAA have fish hair on them.
Oh, absolutely. I can guarantee you it will. And I said all her jerseys, like John's got a jersey. I might have one pretty soon. I got a couple things in the works, but their jerseys and their designs just pop. I mean, it really, really impressive. But you said you drove from Texas all the way up?
Yes, we drove 30 hours one way.
Wow. You're better than me. That's all I'll say.
Well, I should say my husband Joe drove 30 hours one way.
Well, you needed your rest, so that's understandable.
Yeah. So, but we did kind of break, especially going up. We broke it up. We drove from Arkansas to Akwesasne, and stayed over there a day and fished and kind of relaxed. And then it was we had a couple of 3 days before we had to be actually in Fredericton. So we just kind of took it easy on the way up. Now on the way home was another story. We left on Sunday and got home on Tuesday.
Ooh, wow! Y'all was burning rubber.
Yes, we were rolling hard.
But it's kind of a mini vacation for you in a way, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Traveling is what he and I do anyway. So, in our younger days, we probably could have done it in 2 days.
Yep. And I know the feeling. But We got a quick comment. LBAA, Lady Bass Angler Associate, says we can't wait to have those bags. Oh yeah, that's going to be nice. Start the season off with you. And LBAA is talking about your husband. Said he's a trooper. Absolutely, hats off.
He really is. He's always there to help anyone that needs to help. Any of the tournaments that I'm in. So it's just a blessing to have him when he gets to come. Which is most tournaments he's there. So I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. You have a spouse like mine. I'm fortunate. She supports all my fishing, and your husband supports all the fishing and tournaments. All you do, so that makes a world of difference.
Yeah, it really does. That way you can go and be at peace while you're there and have your mind on what you've got to do, and you don't have to worry about what am I going home to, because if you've got the opposite of that, it can just really make life hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you got somebody, if you had a tough day in the water, you got somebody to, help you, talk you through, get your mind back right. And that makes a huge difference. I promise you.
Yeah, really. And Joe used to fish the Redman tournaments back in the day.
Yep.
So, when he fished with Cochran and Mark Davis and, Larry Nixon and all the guys. So, he knows what it's like to have a tough day on the water. So we can have that conversation as a been there, done that. So it does make a world of difference.
Yep. That makes a good team. I mean, y'all make a good team. I mean, he's got the experience and y'all can work through it. So that's awesome. That's can't beat that. But we got a comment. Fisher says, we are so excited to be working with the LBAA, Lady Bass Angler Association. That's going to be a outstanding team right there. And then Fisher says, got a question for you. She says, will you be on Hartwell for the Toyota Owners Tournament?
I wish I were, but my truck is too old.
Yep.
So, yeah, we love the Toyota Owners Tournament. It is, if you have a pulling vehicle that is a Toyota, I highly suggest you sign up and go to the Owners Tournament. It is one of the most fun times you will ever have. It's free. The Toyota swag that you get at the tournament is phenomenal. And then you've just got, the tournament and the camaraderie, and it's great. So the first one we fished was on Pickwick, and Joe and I were in the first flight. So we came in, and we were actually leading for a while until all of the locals came in. And I remember Dave Mercer, I pulled some fish out of the bag, to take our pictures, and Dave Mercer had a stroke on stage. What a spot! So I caught like almost a 4-pound spot that day on Pickwick. So
wow.
Yeah, I wasn't really even aware that day. We were just like stuffing them in the live well as quick as we could and going back to fishing. And we come in, we were like, I don't know if we got anything or not, but we had a good bag that day. And I told him, I said, it's the first time the fish ever grew in the live well.
Hey, it's some crazy stuff happens at live well sometimes. I know more chances than not they'll shrink up just a little bit in that cooler water. I've had it happen. Yeah. But and then LBAA says Rhonda had me almost tearing up when she was thanking her husband.
Oh, well, I don't get to do that very often, but that was the right place and the right time, and it was all heartfelt, and I meant every word of it. So,
oh, absolutely, ain't no doubt. And then my old friend Miss Jenny O. Hey, Rhonda, so proud of you.
Thanks, Jenny. I'll see you on Rayburn, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, she's an absolute hammer. She can catch them as good as anybody. And then there's my friend from Fisher, Angie Copas. Says good evening. Glad to see you, Angie. Hope everything's well. I know. Hey, Angie, I think you're still down in Florida, so I hope that hurricane stays south of you and don't bother you. So I know them folks has had enough rain and wind and all that to last the rest of the season. So, but anyway, going up from Texas all the way up to Canada, I bet you've seen some neat sights, maybe stuff you haven't seen before. Did you have any chance to kind of stop or see see sights when you're passing through, I guess?
We didn't really do a lot of sightseeing. I mean, our sightseeing is just, riding down the road. We didn't like go to a state park or a national park or
Yep.
anything like that. But, the countryside up there is beautiful. We did take some state highways to get off of the beaten path. And so, we could really see the countryside. And it's really neat to see the Amish and their wagons, covered wagons going down the side of the road. And, they've got their little stands out front with their baked goods and fresh fruit and stuff in them. So, it's just a different experience up there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Going to work every day, there's a little farm, and a little Amish lady has pick your own flowers. She has sunflowers, all kind of stuff. It's pick your own, and it's got a little honor bucket there. But she has a pretty cool setup. She did an awesome job. That is pretty cool. But
a lot of apple farms, so apple orchards.
Yep.
So
yeah, and believe it or not, it's a quick thing. There's actually Amish tackle stores. One of my fellow sales associates got an Amish tackle store too, and it's funny, they don't have computers or anything, so we have to mail the lures,
right,
to them with the invoice inside, and they'll send their order in through the mail and write it out on a piece of paper or pencil. Hey, it works for them, and we'll make it work for us. So it's pretty cool. But Angie says ended up going to Lake Erie. Hey, nothing wrong with that, Angie. That's good fishery. Hope you knock them out. But we're going to your when you got up there to Canada. I figured you have a meet and greet, or all. Just kind of go through when you got up there, kind of how they had it stuff planned out, or how the activities went.
So the first day we were there was basically check in and opening ceremonies, which was at the town square. And that was super cool. I'm going to say, I've said this before, Southerners think we have cornered the market on hospitality, but I learned we have not. The Canadians' hospitality, you just can't beat it. Everyone made everybody feel so welcomed. They ran the tournament and all of the festivities and events so well and flawlessly. I told one of the event organizers, I said, this is ran as well as any MLF tournament that I've been to, and I've been to several of them. So, I mean, they really, really did a good job. They did live streaming all 3 days, practice day and both days of the tournament. So, if you go to, I believe it's Canada Bass on YouTube, you can still watch it.
Oh, cool.
Pre-recorded, so it's still out there. So they had live streaming of the tournament. They had, we had opening ceremonies downtown. The mayor of Nakawak, where the marina was there every morning to greet the anglers and meet everyone. And,
oh, wow.
And yeah, I just can't say enough about what a good time it was and how well an event it was ran.
Sounds like they rolled out the red carpet for you guys.
Yes, they did. I mean, absolutely rolled it out. One of the dinners was a lobster dinner. So, I mean, you don't get that every day.
Wow. That's amazing. That's going over and above for sure. Now, we got a quick question for you from LBAA, the Lady Bass Angler Association. What's it going to take to get you to fish more LBAA events, Rhonda? Hint.
Oh, vacation time. That's what it's going to take, Travis. I am going to do Bull Shoals as a boater. That's my plan for next year. Anyway, Bull Shoals is close enough to the house that I can go on, the weekends before and get my pre-fishing in and get my game plan figured out. And then, come up and stay at Anchor's Point with Craig LaPont. And, I think it's going to be a really, really good tournament. Bull Shoals is a really good lake. But yeah, it just takes so much time, and I only have so much vacation, and I've got so much I want to do and so many things, on the roster that time is my biggest enemy.
Oh, I understand, and they'll be tickled to have you there. I know, but I feel you. I just started my new job about 6 months ago, and I got be pretty selective on taking time off. So I completely understand.
Yeah, so we were talking at work today about maybe the first Friday of the year in 25. We may, Friday is not a normal work day for us. We may come in and work a regular day because we will have been closed for 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, that's a vacation day I can take because I can use that as I can take comp time instead of money. And yeah, time is the enemy, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely. it don't forgive, and you're absolutely right on that. But going into today, how many days of practice you guys have?
So some of the USA guys got there, a week early and really, dissected the river, and they did really well. I honestly I didn't get there until the day of opening ceremonies.
Okay.
We had 1 day of regular practice, which was the entire tournament. It was just a practice day before we started. And then the tournament was Friday, Saturday. I have to get my days back in my head. So it was Friday, Saturday. And so we practiced on Thursday, tournament Friday, Saturday. And then when, closing ceremonies and awards and everything was Saturday night, and got up and hit it Sunday morning and headed home.
Wow. You had a heck of a lot of stuff in that one weekend. Well, weekend and a day or two. You had it all crammed in there, but I bet it was fast and furious.
Yes, it flew by so fast. It took forever for it to get here. And then it was gone in a
snap of a finger.
Yeah, that's what I kept telling, everybody be asking me about it. And I was like, well, it took so long to get here, but I'm afraid it's going to go by so fast. I'm not really going to get to enjoy it. And it was kind of a blur.
Oh, yeah.
We have lots of pictures and videos. So there's some of that still to come. We haven't stopped since we got home, honestly. Yeah. So, because got home and then I left on, let's see, got home, had that week off because we didn't get home till Tuesday, and I was off that week. The following Tuesday, I left for Oklahoma.
Wow.
And I got home Saturday. So, and then back to work Monday, and East Texas Ladies Championships on the 26th, the week after next. So, yeah. September, October just flown by.
You didn't have hardly a chance to sleep or take a break. That's intense right there.
Yeah, so I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, and sometimes I feel that way. They got another comment from Lady Bass Angler Association, said you should do Caddo as well. Should do Caddo too.
I may do that. Like I said, it'll depend on time.
Yeah.
I like Caddo. Caddo's a good lake for big fish if you can pick out the right cypress tree.
Absolutely, and there's a bunch of them out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's got big fish in it. You just have to know where they're at and hope you get lucky. So hit them on top of the head sometimes.
Absolutely, especially as dirty as some of that water is. You almost have to hit them on the head and make them react. So, been there. But day one, now who did you fish out with on day one?
At the LBA Classic. At the Classic.
Yes, at the Classic. Yes.
But the Classic, I qualified through the East Texas Lady Anglers. So Denise Estada and I fished on day one.
Cool.
And I had a little over 6 pound bag that day. Second day, I fished with Paula Wilson. Mm-hmm. And I had almost a 6 pound bag that day.
Wow.
Had to do surgery on the boat.
Yep.
Paula decided she wanted to get the treble hooks hooked in her arm.
Ooh. Did you do the braid trick? You did the braid pop?
Yeah, she actually had 2 hooks in her forearm. So, yeah, we had to off and and do the braid trick on the boat. And I was like, if we could put some ice on this, we could numb it. We got time for that. Let's fish.
That's determination right there. Hats off to that young lady.
Paula she is a tough lady, and she is a great angler. All my boaters are great anglers. Third day was with Robbie Hartline, and I don't have to say anything there. Everybody knows Robbie is a stick. And,
oh yeah.
I had well over 5 pounds that day. I needed a kicker on the second and third days that I just didn't have. I missed out on first place with Secret, 1.1 pounds.
Wow. Yeah, so if you had that one kicker and that one call, you'd have been right there.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Secret's, she's a hammer, she's a stick. She's been doing it a while, and she knows. So, she was the one I was the most worried about. I will say there were several I was worried about, but Secret was the one I was most worried about.
Yeah.
She had brought in such a good bag on day 2. Yeah, I knew that was who I was in competition with, other than the fish.
Yeah, ours is pretty tough. I think Secret said the other night there was like 1 pound between the top 5 at one point, or maybe day 2. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was super close.
That's amazing right there. But I'll say I told Secret and Cheryl the other night that I am seeing more and more young ladies, like college age, high school, start seeing them in the BFLs more and more. So I think that's a tribute to you guys. I think they look up to you guys, and it gives them confidence.
Well, I hope so. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I think that's how most women feel about it, is if I can do it, you can do it.
Yep.
So you just have to go out, you push yourself to do it the first time, and then you figure out, okay, it's not as big and bad as I made it up in my mind to be.
Absolutely.
A lot of days on the water, it's more of a mental game than it is an actual fishing. It's the fishing is there. You have to get your mind right and keep it right for the entire event, no matter how long it is, if it's 1 day or 3 days. And sometimes that's hard to do.
Well, absolutely, especially if you have tough conditions or you have some boat issues, it can spin you out. And just like I said, keep focused. You got to keep focused, and that's key.
Yeah. So day 1 of the tournament at the Pan Am, we actually had motor issues.
Yep.
So 10 minutes out of takeoff, we pulled into the first cove, motor overheated. I had to call in to Mark Schlarb, who is the coach, and, report, we've got motor issues. We're not going to be able to do this all day. Do we come back to the marina? What do we do? And they scrambled and got us another boat and sent them to us. So we didn't even have to go back into the marina. They sent the boat to us. We tied off and swapped our gear over from one boat to the other.
Wow, that's quick.
So the second boat didn't have any electronics on it.
Yep.
And I told Emily, I said, well, they got us a boat, but, and she said, but what? I said, there's no electronics on the front deck. She goes, no electronics. I said, none. Oh my God. I said, we're going to be fine. We're just going to go. We're just going to go fish. And that's what we did. We just went old school. We went fishing, and we still came in with almost 10 pounds, 9.8.
Wow.
Electronics. And so, yeah, I was very, very proud of that. And, I was talking to, Jacob Wheeler and, Scott Martin and, some of the guys on the team. And they said, well, you guys had, not over 9 pounds today. Y'all did pretty good. I said, yeah, we didn't have any electronics on the boat. And they were like, what? I mean, their eyes were like this. What? And I said, yeah, we had no electronics on the boat today. Oh my God, that's amazing. So, people forget how much they rely on those.
Yeah.
And, Joe and I do a lot of fishing out of a John boat.
Yeah.
doesn't even have an outboard on it. So when I heard that, I was just like, well, we're just gonna go old and fish what we can see and what we know, and see what we can do. So, and that's what we did, and we just went out and grinded out it all day, and I was very pleased with 9.8 pounds at the end of the day.
Yeah, as much as you all had to go through, and I said being versatile, you was being versatile. So that's key to a lot of tournaments because you don't know what's going to happen, conditions or boat issues. You just got to keep on grinding.
That's all you can do. Just you just got to keep your head down, keep focused, and keep that line wet.
Oh, absolutely. And Travis, the Lady Bass Angler Association, said that would be a great saying for ladies, considering if she can do it, you can too. Yes. Absolutely. And it reminds me, I fished with Clay Dyer one time out on Cherokee, and that's his saying, if I can, you can. And he has that on his rod sleeves, and that was an amazing day just being with him, and he was like, I mean, he had to work probably 10 times as hard as anybody on the lake, but he was the most happiest guy on the lake. It was amazing. He's real inspiration.
Yeah, he really is. So one of the things that I keep in the back of my mind is I actually had a musician tell this to another musician, but think of your hero. The one person that you look up to the most, and then think about how they are and what they do and what they've accomplished. And then there's one thing they cannot do, and that's be you.
Absolutely.
So we all have our own strengths and weaknesses, and so you just have to know what those are. You have to play off of them. And just realize that, I love KVD and Jacob Wheeler and Zona. I mean, those guys they're my fishing heroes, but they can't do me.
Yeah.
And I can't do them. And so it's me against the fish. And some days I figure them out, and some days they beat me. And that's why they call it fishing, not catching.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that brings up a good point. I think I got to fish, and my grandpa took me fishing when I was just probably 4 or 5, and we'd go out a lot. And even now, he's passed on to be with the man upstairs, but I can always feel him with me. I mean, everywhere. I mean, I'll see things, and it's just like, man, I remember, me and my granddad fishing. It was this same kind of place. So, but that's always on my mind, and I got him on my jersey. I got a picture of him on my jersey. So, yeah, that's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's tough to remember, and but you just have to keep going back to that.
Absolutely. And Travis brings up a good point. If I get it come up here, Travis of Lady Bass Angler Association says, "Who is your hero in fishing, Rhonda?"
Well, I just mentioned some of the biggest pros.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, my biggest heroes is Joe, my husband, and my dad.
That's a great pair right there.
So, Dad taught me to catch a bunch of fish, and Joe taught me to catch big fish.
There you go. That's spot on right there. That's a great combination.
So, I just try to take what little bit that I've learned from the two of those, and my dad is going on now, so I just try to take what I've learned there and expand on it as I can when I'm out on the water by myself. And a lot of times I'll think, well, what would they do?
Yep. Absolutely. Or you have a good day, and they're smiling on you. You bringing a big fish, and you just feel sun shining on you, and they're smiling down on you. That's for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I brought the founder in at Sam Rayburn with the East Texas Lady Anglers, and Joe comes up to the boat after we get it out of the water, and he was like, "Well, how'd you do?" And I was like, piggy, piggy. And because that's what our sayings. And he goes, really? And I looked at him and I said, PB. And he goes, no way. And sure enough, it was 8:38, and it was my new personal best largemouth that I caught in a tournament. So that was super on my birthday, no less. So yeah, that was a super, super special fish and a super special day. And all the ladies and the guys at the East Texas Ladies made my day super special. And it was just, I'll never forget that.
That's awesome. You can't beat that. That's a memory you'll always treasure and cherish for sure. But and then Travis says, I bet your dad and Joe are so proud.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, did you? Now, I know you had teams from Canada, a few other countries. Did they have different rods or different tackle, or did you notice did they do about the same as y'all do, or they did little things different, or what did you get from that?
Well, we really didn't get close enough to each other's boats to tell like what the other teams were doing.
Right.
We're so worried about what we were doing, and
yeah,
we were up there in the Canadian waters with the Canadian bass team with Bob Azumi and Gussie and Gallant, and so we were more concentrated on what we were going to do than we were about what everybody else was going to do. I will say, very grateful to the local bass club, I guess you would call it, that they have in New Brunswick. The guys came out and loaned their boats and themselves and drove those of us who didn't have boats, because if you're from Puerto Rico or China, you're not going to have your own boat, but they drove us for those 3 days up and down that river.
Wow.
And it was, they all volunteered their time, and our boat guy, I don't even know what you would call him, was Gordon Bird.
Yep.
And Gordon was a pleasure to be in the boat with all 3 days. He busted his butt to get that boat fixed during the first day of tournament.
Yep.
Left us, went straight to the mechanic shop, and they worked on it immediately. Phil was the guy that does all of the mechanics there in it's either Nakawick or Fredericton.
Right.
Got it fixed. I think he had to put a new compressor on it. It was a 2-stroke motor. Had to put a new compressor. He went immediately to a body of water, which was close to the shop, tested the boat out to make sure that everything was working like it's supposed to, drove all the way back to Nakawick to the boat ramp, and got with the officials.
Yep.
And got permission to come and meet us at a different marina. And so Joe just happened to be, he didn't just happen. He knew Gordon was coming back, so he was waiting on him. And so when they got permission, Joe and the official got in Gordon's truck. They drove up to, I believe it was Woodstock, I think, or something like that, to that marina. And Joe dumped him in the water, and we met him there, and we swapped off again. So we swapped boats twice that day.
Wow.
And, but he made sure he could come back before the end of the day so that we would have, he had all the Humminbird stuff, the 360, the live, the down, the side imaging, all of the things.
Yep.
He was determined to get back in the water to make sure that we had that for the end of the day before the tournament ended and we had to go back in. So, I can't say enough about how good he was to us.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a lot of work to get it running, test it out, and go meet y'all. I mean, he was nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he was, top notch, and I'd go fishing with Gordon tomorrow.
That's awesome. And you got a connection for life, that's something you'll never forget.
I hope I get to go back up there and just go fishing with him. You know.
There you go.
So that would be a heck of a trip, because if you're just fun fishing on the St. John River in New Brunswick, you can catch 100 fish a day easy.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, it made it harder that we were looking for the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But we caught a lot of fish, I will not say that we didn't. We caught a lot of fish. And then, it was just a matter of ounces to cull up.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes that makes all the difference. An ounce or two, jump you up 5 or 10 places sometimes. That don't take much.
So, fortunately, Trey McKinney and Tyler Williams, they came in with 18 pounds a day.
Whoo! They was on them.
Yeah. Then Joey Fuentes and Josh Weaver had 17, 18 pounds a day. So at the end of the tournament, it was Tyler and Trey. They came in first in the individual. And then it was Joey and Weaver came in second. And then the Canadian team, and then Scott Martin and his partner were fourth. So USA had 3 of the top 4 spots.
And fishing against Canadians on their home waters, that's really impressive.
Yes. We caught over 13 pounds more than the Canadian team.
Woo, man, y'all was killing it. Y'all was ready to roll on that.
Yeah, so we were really, really wanting to make sure that we brought that gold home. Individual, if we knew if we brought the gold America's Cup home, then the individual medals would be there.
Oh yeah.
And so, the guys, they would share waypoints. They would, call each other until we had a group text, and everybody kept in touch with each other. And it's like, hey, come over here and do this, and I'm over here doing that. And so, yeah, it was super great.
Well, that's a team effort right there. No egos, just team effort. That's how to do it right there.
Yeah, and none of them were egos. They were, they would sit there and have a conversation with you, and just like we're talking now, because sometimes you expect them to be a little haughty,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right to be, because they are so good at what they do. But all of the guys, from Trey and Tyler, who were probably the younger ones on the team, to Scott and Jacob, all the guys were just super, super nice. And Joey Fuentes and I were Team Arkansas.
Yep, no doubt. Did he wear his cowboy hat up there?
Yes. So he was. He's at the Worlds right now. So he.
That's right. In Italy. Yeah, they're in Italy. That's right.
Italy right now. Scott and Jacob and Cannell and Joey and Fred Rambonis and Canterbury. Probably have left out 1 or 2, but anyway. So. Joey takes the USA bass hat,
Yep.
And then he cuts the logo out, and then we've got little pins, and he pins them to his cowboy hat.
That's pretty dang cool right there.
They took a team picture in Italy one day this week. I think it was yesterday or day before, and Joey was wearing a baseball, the ball cap.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is that on the end? And oh, that's Joey.
He was incognito.
He just looked totally different without that cowboy hat on. But so yeah, once they started fishing, he cut his hat out and got it on his cowboy hat. So he's back in true form, and they are really catching them in Italy too. I've been keeping up with it.
Wow.
Bring home the gold there. That's the big deal. That's the World Cup right there.
Yep. Now I keep hearing stuff and seeing stuff, little blurbs that they're trying to get that as an Olympic sport. But we've seen breakdancing. I mean, if they have breakdancing on there, why not have bass fishing on there?
Yeah, I think the hardest part about bass fishing as an Olympic sport is going to be the equipment.
Yeah.
Getting making sure everybody's on the same, wavelength, or no one has an unfair advantage over another. And then, because you got to get boats wherever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I think that would be, because I don't know how an Olympic committee would work that. It's working out really well right now because, the Pan Am guys are using the local bass clubs. I know last year when they were in Hot Springs, a lot of the guys from the Bass, like Mr. Bass of Arkansas and, the Trader Bill circuit and, all of those guys, they donated their boats so that they could go out on Lake Hamilton. And there is a list of requirements that you have to have on your boat in order to be even eligible. So, you have to have live scope. You have to have, certain things, or, you're not even eligible to even donate your boat, which is how we got in the second boat. He was there as a rescue.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So, but he did rescue.
Oh, yeah.
Rescue
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Marina all day. But, so there's a lot that goes into it, and, behind the scenes, and a lot of preparation, and, things that folks don't even think about. Just getting a regular tournament together is bad enough. Travis knows that.
Oh, yeah.
But, if you're trying to furnish boats for, 10 countries, and, there were 60 boats in the parking lot of the hotel.
Wow.
And so they had to bring in generators and fence it off, and, all of that fun stuff, so everybody could charge their boats at night.
Yep.
And so we came back in. I don't forget what day it was. We came in one day, and someone had come through the fence, cut a hole in the fence downtown, and stole some of the big copper wiring.
Yeah. Yep.
Wiring. And they were like, it was broad daylight. So, they had to, put a guard out there, and, they had to have somebody out there guarding it, 24/7. But fortunately, at night, when they would, if they would do anything at night, none of the boats were bothered.
Yeah.
So that was a good thing, is that none of the boats were bothered. None of the equipment was bothered. Mostly it was just, electrical stuff that they could, get rid of easy.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's broad daylight. I mean, that blows my mind. Just think about it.
They'll, in Arkansas, and I'm sure other places, they'll pull into a marina parking lot, and there'll be 2 or 3 of them. They'll cut all the catalytic converters off all the vehicles while everybody's in the tournament and leave.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it happens here in Kentucky, too. Somebody be at a boat launch, and I have 4 or 5, and they'll get all of them.
Yep. So, it happens everywhere. You just have to do your best to guard against it.
Yeah. Or get somewhere where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of eyes, a lot of people coming in and out. That's always a thing I hear. Go to a busy ramp. Don't go to a big remote launch like way out in the boonies. You're the only one there. That's a sure ticket. You're going to be missing some exhaust pieces real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and they get the tournament schedules here. So
yeah.
The tournament's going to be. They know you're going to leave out before, the sun is up, and you're not going to be back till 3:00 in the afternoon. And so they know they've got all day to do whatever they want to do. And anglers' vehicles are really easy targets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they're hot. Most of them SUV or trucks that are way off the ground, so they just slide up under there, no problem. So that's true.
Yeah, and it doesn't take them long to clean out a parking lot. So
that's true. But talk about next season. I know you're gonna go fish to one LBAA close to you. Is there any other like tournaments or series you think you're gonna get into next year, or are you still kind of looking?
No, I pretty much got my mind made up. I want to do the WBT, which is the Women's Bass Tour, with Wendy Lou and those ladies. I've already got my room reserved at Lake Fork for April, so that's going to be exciting. Then there's the East Texas Lady Anglers. I love all those ladies. I plan to do that series. That's just between Toledo Bend and Rayburn.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do the one on Bull Shoals with the LBAA, and we'll see maybe if I qualify for the Classic next year. So I'll have 2 chances to do it, because the WBT and the East Texas Ladies are both federation clubs. So, you can qualify through them to go to the Classic, which is how I wound up at the Classic this year.
Absolutely. That's outstanding. I mean, you got it covered. I mean, it's a good plan. I'm sure you thought that out, but that's pretty slick. That's next level.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Bull Shoals is going to be interesting, being the boater. And so I'm looking forward to that, though, getting, to make my own decisions and call my own calls that day. And, see if I can do it on my own.
Oh, absolutely. Ain't no doubt that you can do it. I got no doubt. But
I wouldn't be planning it, so but it'll be different being on the front end of the boat instead of the back end. I spent my life on that back deck, so I mean, even fishing growing up with, like I said, with my dad, he had a 14 or 16 foot Duracraft aluminum boat, had a Johnson 25 on the back of it. And I don't know what kind of trolling motor he had. He did have a trolling motor. And he sat on the front with the trolling motor. Mom sat in the middle, and I sat by the outboard. So I've been in the back of the boat.
Hey.
I've been in the back of the boat my whole life. And so getting up front is, I can do it. But I'll admit I am really comfortable back there because that's where I've spent my life. And my dad was so mad at me when I was a kid. He would take us like when the white bass were schooling up on the Arkansas River.
Yep. So
it would be fun and fast. And I would get tired about mid-morning. I was never a morning person as a kid. Still not much.
Yep.
I'm older than I used to be. And I'd get tired and I'd just throw my rod, and catch a fish. And just throw and catch a fish. And he would say, I am never bringing you back again.
That's funny. Hey,
hardest he
yep.
could.
That's funny. Now we do have a comment from your biggest fan right here. JT Pitts says, "I've been relegated to net man."
He's a really good net man too. So, yeah, he's taught me an awful lot since 2016, which is really when I started fishing seriously. So I couldn't do it without you, babe.
Outstanding. Y'all make a good team. That's you can tell you've learned well and you've grown as an angler, and you keep on growing, keep on keeping on, as Mo Pastor used to say. But we're about 53 minutes out. We always like to give you time to thank your family, friends, sponsors. So we'll let you have the floor for a few minutes. It's all yours.
So, yeah, I would like to thank the WBT and the East Texas Lady Anglers, the LBAA. Without you guys having a forum for us to go and do this, it'd be really hard to get out and do it as much as we get to do it. And you guys do really well putting them all together. And we have fun when we do it. And that's what it's all about. And it's the camaraderie between the ladies and the gentlemen. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I want to thank my sponsors, Lou's, Rods and Reels, Cigar Line, Baheo Sunglasses, Rapala, Crush City, Gajo Baits, Clickbait Custom Lures, Yellowtech, and Woo, and Fish Her. And I think I got all of them. Great Lakes Finesse, that's the other one.
Good job.
Yeah, without the sponsors, it wouldn't be possible because you guys make it where it's affordable to actually get to go and do it. So thank you so much to everyone. Thanks to Joe and all the support at home. And I just hope to go out and keep on keeping on.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. But we'll look forward to keeping up with you this coming season, and wish you the best of luck in tight lines. And I'm sure you're going to have another good season. I think you're just going to keep going up and up. So, got no doubt.
Well, thanks, Rob. I really appreciate it, and I hope that's the way it works. Thanks for having me again on the show. Anytime you guys want to do this, just holler.
We sure will. We always enjoy having you, and you always get like the most comments. I think we get more comments when you're on than anybody else. So, and there's Fisher saying awesome show. Thanks, guys and gals. And but anyway, I said we enjoyed having you. You always entertaining and real quick thing. If we got a young angler lady out there in high school or even junior high, we got some junior high teams here locally. If you had to tell a piece of advice for a young angler, young lady, what would you tell them?
Just come fish. You can do it. If you can go and fish on a high school team or a college team or even, any kind of school team, then you can come and do this. And don't think you can't. And don't be scared to talk, because you're going to have to if you do well. So my biggest advice to any of the younger ladies is learn how to do an interview, because you're going to do a lot of them. The better you are, the more you're going to have to do this kind of thing. I personally not really comfortable with this because I'm used to being on the other side of the camera.
Yep.
So it's hard to get used to being on this side of the camera, but that's just something that goes with it. Your sponsors will expect it of you. And the more you can talk and the more you can represent them, the better off and the more successful that you'll be.
Absolutely. And I always say, the more you're on, the more podcasts you're on, the more interviews you do, you get more comfortable, more confident. So try to do as many as you can, and you'll grow. You'll notice, like I said, I used to be shy as could be. I didn't feel like I'd get in front of people and I'd like freeze up. So it took a while, but every time I'm on here, I get a little more confident, a little better. So just keep on. Don't be scared. Have a little courage, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and if you've got to practice with your phone and just recording yourself, do that too. Have somebody ask you some questions and just do it on your phone, and you don't have to keep it, you don't have to post it, but the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. Absolutely.
That's the best way to get better. I remember back in the day before we had phones, how old as I am, yeah. We did it in front of a mirror. I know my public speaking teachers, they get in front of the mirror and it sounded goofy, but it did help. So
it really does. I know when I was in customer service, they used to tell us to put a mirror by the telephone.
Yep.
So see your face and see your facial expressions while you were talking on the phone, because your facial expressions come through your voice.
Absolutely. They tell us the same thing. That's funny you say that, because we get to say if you're not smiling, they can tell on every end of the line, which is true.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, well, I thank you for your time tonight, and we hope you very best, and you have some great sponsors, and you represent them well, and hope you continue success.
Well, thank you so much, Rob. We'll do this again sometime, I hope.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have you on again, I promise you. But thanks for everybody for tuning in, and give us a like and share. And John, we miss you, buddy. I'm sure we'll see you again next week. So get well soon, my friend. So with that, I'll say good night and peace out. Hang on just for a couple minutes after, Rhonda. I'll talk to you just for a minute afterwards. So,
okay.
But everybody else, good night, and tune in to next Monday. We'll have Ladies in Fishing, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys for tuning in.